from the home of Big Blue Nation. This is BBN Gameday, presented by Kentucky Farm Bureau Insurance. Big on commitment.
Welcome to BBN Gameday. I'm Keith Farmer.
And I'm Christy Thomas. Today we're getting you ready for the Cats versus the Vols, round 2. We'll preview the game and have Goose Givens and Tony Barbie join us a little later on.
We'll also hear from Wandale Robinson on his decision to come back to play for the home state school, and women's basketball Naismith Player of the Year candidate Ryan Howard. Jam-packed show today.
Yeah, a lot going on. We'll start with basketball. A bit of strange road trip for the Cats. They've been in the Volunteer State since last Sunday. That is weird. After getting their second straight win on Wednesday over Vanderbilt in Nashville, they just packed up and headed to Knoxville to take on the Vols. Last time around, Tennessee handled Kentucky 82-71. The Cats had the lead at the half, but blown out in the second half. Tennessee went on a 12-0 run thanks to their 2 freshman guards.
Oh my gosh, Keon Johnson and Jaden Springer, they killed us.
Did.
I mean, Johnson had a career-high 27 points, 4 rebounds, and 3 assists. He also made 9 of 11 free throws, and Jaden Springer tossed in another 23 points and 5 boards. The 2 combined for 18 made field goals. Here's what Coach Cal said about them after that game.
Bullied us too, and they're freshmen. They were the best 2 guards on the court, whether they're freshmen, seniors, sophomores, whatever. They were the best 2. But again, they were the best 2 because they were physical and they bullied us. It isn't like they were jacking threes and going nuts. They just went to wherever they wanted to on the court. It either went into your body and shot or just jumped over you and shot.
Christy, we knew they had a good recruiting class. The Cats are going to have to find a way to limit these guys today, especially Springer, who has been on a tear. He's averaging 22 a game since playing the Cats.
Well, we've known this about this team. They've got to find some physicality. They've got to be able to play physically. And I know that game was only a couple of weeks ago, but I do think this team is a different team
I agree.
than what we saw a couple of weeks ago. Well, good from that first game, Keon Brooks.
Yes.
Boy, he looked good. He had a monster game, going 23 points, 11 rebounds for a double-double, shot 50% from the field. It was also the most he's played in a game this season. He had 35 minutes. So, Keith, we got to get a repeat performance out of him tonight. He's got to play tough. He's the guy that can do that, can play physical.
Yeah, you know, obviously he missed a lot of the beginning of the season, so you feel like he's finally getting his win. He's finally seeing how this team's playing. He's getting involved, so that's good. Now, both teams have had their offensive struggles this season, but over the last 3 games, Tennessee is averaging 87 a game. Kentucky seems to have finally found a rhythm as well, scoring at least 80 in every game since dropping that game to Tennessee on February 6th. The Vols, though, have been a bit Jekyll and Hyde. They've also scored less than 64 times this season, so hopefully that's the team that we get to see today.
It's good to see Kentucky finding some offensive rhythm, though. Finding some offense and really attacking and doing all the things we want them to do on offense. It's happening.
Yeah, because we knew they could play defense. We've seen that almost all season.
Yes.
It's just getting the offense going. And again, still my mind is boggled when I hear players being told to shoot.
Yeah, right.
You know, usually you're telling them don't take that shot. And so I'm still, you know, trying to figure that one out.
Coming together. It's all coming together. All right, well, coming up next, we'll keep this preview rolling for Kentucky and Tennessee.
Goose Givens is joining us to give his take on things, including if it was a block or a charge. You know what we're talking about. We'll be right back.
BBN Gameday, presented by Kentucky Farm Bureau Insurance. Big on commitment. Sponsored by Central Bank, Coca-Cola, Kroger, Papa John's, and Toyota.
With roots dating back to 1946, Central Bank remains a community bank dedicated to serving the people and businesses of Kentucky. We're here, as always, with customer service and support, as well as online and mobile banking services available 24 hours a day. For the latest information about your options for banking services and resources, visit us at centralbank.com. Central Bank, central to you. Member FDIC.
Love lower than low prices? Then get more ways to save at Kroger, where you can find personalized coupons, weekly deals, and rewards like fuel points. All for prices that are lower than low. On food that's fresher than fresh. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Sticky notes are part of our daily lives. And people have found some pretty creative uses for them. As Kentucky's insurance company, we appreciate the resourcefulness and the fact that billions of sticky notes are made each year right here in the Commonwealth. And we think that's something Kentuckians find pretty noteworthy. Kentucky Farm Bureau Insurance. Big on commitment.
You're watching BBN Gameday, presented by Kentucky Farm Bureau Insurance. Big on commitment.
Well, welcome back to BBN Gameday.
Keith, it was a dumb call. We all know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, block or charge. Home team says block all day, every day. Goose, what do you think?
I'm a home team guy, so I am definitely going to say a block.
Sure.
I mean, you see the guy shift his feet just enough. After Brooks elevates, he gets there. Usually that's a charge. Usually that's a block. So I have to go with the block on this. I mean, this is #1 on ESPN Top 10.
Yeah.
I mean, if this is not called a charge, it's #1. The NBA, they promote these kind of plays. The referees definitely call a block on that. But here in college, because I think the referees get a little bit into the home crowd, not that there's a lot of them, but they get into that, so they make it the charge instead of the block. It's definitely a block, and he should be on the free throw line completing a three-point play the old-fashioned way.
Amen, Goose Gibbons. Yes.
I think I would have just liked to see no whistle called, and let's just play on and go with the posterized dunk. All right, Goose, we've really enjoyed listening to you break down some plays for us. You got some more for us as we get ready for Kentucky and Tennessee.
Yeah, you know, the good thing is Kentucky is starting to score more points as you think about this. This is going back to the Tennessee game before. Just take the simple play as you know you're going to get. The defense plays you to get a certain result. Just shoot the basketball. Now, here's what's happening now, and it's been a lot of fun. Watch how quickly this ball is up the floor. No one bounces it after Askew clears the defense. You pass it up, you get a quick one, and you go back the other way. That is always good to see when you're trying to score more points. Watch again. You get it out on the break, you pitch it up the floor, no dribble, just pass it, and you have Mentz laying it in off of a nice pass by Boston. So that's how you want to play. That's why Kentucky is starting to score more points. You see all of these fast break opportunities. Forget about dribbling the basketball. Think back early. That's all they were doing is dribbling the basketball up the floor, keeping it too long. And now you're seeing guys share the basketball. And that is what's important when you talk about trying to score more points, which Kentucky is doing right now.
You got another one here to take a look at.
Yeah, okay. Playing simple basketball. It's so nice to see Boston starting to score points, but guess what he's doing? He's taking what the defense gives him. Don't even worry about trying to put it on the floor, trying to make, I just mentioned Sports Center, but you don't want to try to create something that's not there. Watch how he uses the screen. He fades to the corner, and he can do that now on both sides of the floor, which is awesome to see him using the screens. Now, you just talk about little things. Watch the nice screen, and then you knock the ball down. That's what you're talking about. Another thing Kentucky's starting to do a lot of is high-low offense. They're using it so much more. Simple basketball. You have Jackson who can jump out of the gym. Why not throw it up there? And you'll see Brooks. Jackson makes a move to the basket. You put it to the corner of the backboard. He grabs it and he throws it down. That is simple basketball. Coach Calipari always talks about these tweaks that he's making. Sometimes the tweaks just find themselves. And this is a play that Kentucky is using more and more, going to the middle, attacking the front of the rim, throwing the ball up there, and let those jumping jacks like Jackson go up and get it. So nice to see Kentucky playing simple basketball, just taking what the defense gives them.
Offense really looking good, finally coming together.
Yeah, no doubt. Goose, thanks so much. Appreciate it. Love watching you break down some plays here for the Wildcats, and hopefully they can get more of that against the Vols today.
Thanks, Keith. Christy, thanks a lot.
All right, coming up next on BBN Game Day, I'll talk with Tony Barbie about the team's win in Nashville and today's game in Knoxville.
That's coming up next. Don't go away.
Tune in before every game for the Don Franklin Countdown to Tip-Off Show with Dave Baker and Jack Givens, featuring conversations with other former UK stars and Coach Cal. It airs 90 minutes prior to game time on the UK Sports Network radio affiliates or through the UK Athletics app.
Today tastes like staying in, like our go-to place. Tastes like anticipating, and a little bit like waiting. Food's here. Today tastes like a piece of the action, and it never tasted this good.
We've been going to the same Skyline for 11 or 12 years now. When I see that familiar face at the drive-thru, it makes me feel good. Just making that connection, seeing them again. It's like going home. We always make sure that we eat as a family. And on the busier days, hitting the Skyline drive-thru is perfect for that. It's always a good experience, and everybody in the house is happy. We eat Skyline once a week for lunch or dinner. Yeah, sometimes it's 2 times a week. Skyline is definitely my family's favorite restaurant.
You're watching BBN Game Day, presented by Kentucky Farm Bureau Insurance. Big on commitment.
Well, after the Cats took down Vanderbilt for their second win in a row, Keith had a chance to talk with associate to the head coach, Tony Barbie. That conversation is sponsored by Bird, the official shared mobility partner of the University of Kentucky.
Well, Coach, you guys have basically been in Tennessee all week. Tell me about the thought process behind going down there a few days ahead of playing Vanderbilt and just what you've seen that it has done for this team.
Well, it was a little different. We had to probably beat the storm out of town that was coming across this region, or else we probably wouldn't have made it down to Nashville for the game. So it was a little different coming down on Sunday evening, but it just gives us an extra little time for this team to bond, which was, it's been unusual this year that we haven't had our normal bonding time where you see the team gel and different activities outside of basketball. So now to get them in a hotel where you can't go outside because of the weather here and everything is closed down in Nashville. I mean, the team, you just see it day by day getting closer and closer. And the end result is you see how we're playing better on the floor.
Has Davion become that go-to guy and that guy that, Jacob said last night, he feels like every shot he takes is going to go in. Is he becoming the guy for this team?
Yeah, a lot of times a coach can't define that. The player just, it defines him. And for Davion, he's always had that belief in himself that if you give me the ball and I'm going to shoot the ball in a big moment, that I think it's going in. So it's kind of evolved on its own over the course of this year that he's become that guy that if you get the ball in his hands, even if it's not his play, he'll raise up and shoot, and it's been going in more than it hadn't been.
We've seen some guys turning the corner, and really it seems like the light bulb's coming on. Let's start with a couple of the freshmen. Isaiah Jackson and B.J. Boston really seem like different players in the last week, 2 weeks.
Yeah, again, Keith, we've talked about it all year long. It's been an unusual year. The freshmen in particular have really, really missed out on our typical off-season program that we weren't allowed to have because of COVID. They missed out on all those non-conference games that you get to build your confidence as a young college freshman, which is what these kids are. They're not grown men yet. They're not, professional adults. They're young college kids trying to figure out this thing in a very, very unusual year. So they missed out on all those opportunities to grow gradually, like you've seen all of our guys over the years been able to do. And so the process has been slowed down for them. And this is kind of that timetable now that they're figuring it out. Their college game, the intensity of it every single night, every single possession. And then they're putting in the extra work, which they've done all year, but that's what our guys do. And that's when you see our freshmen bloom, probably a little earlier than they have in the past, but this is about normal for this time of the year.
So you go from the win at Vanderbilt, go across state now to take on Tennessee. What did you learn from the first game? Obviously, you had the lead at the half. There were a lot of lead changes in this one. What do you feel like this team has learned heading into game 2 against the Volunteers?
Well, we're finishing better. That was a game that we thought we let slip away late in the game. We had played well for 30 minutes, but you got to play well for 40. And we've started to do that now. Over time. Tennessee is a different team, though, when we played them. They're playing a lot different style. They're not running their normal sets They're playing more open basketball, just playing freedom off of dribble drive kind of actions. They're posting their guards. They're not playing their typical two bigs like they've always played. So it's going to be a little bit of a different game that we got to prepare for on Saturday than we did the first time in Lexington.
I'm going to give a shot at this one. You're sitting at 6-7 in the SEC. If you could run the table, you'd be at 10-7, and that puts you pretty close to, especially with 3 teams ahead of you that you play, being in that top 4, which would be crucial for this team heading into the SEC tournament.
Keith, can we just worry about Tennessee on Saturday?
See, I said I was going to try.
It was a good try. It was a good try, but we got to focus on, the old typical coach speak, one game at a time. But that's really important with this team, is it's still trying to grow and develop, and it's not a finished product yet. But it would be neat to think ahead that far. We got to get this next one first.
See, I didn't even try and get you to talk about the Keon Brooks last night because I don't want you getting fined or suspended. So I left that one alone. But I thought I could get you on that one. Coach Barbie, thanks so much for your time and good luck against Tennessee. Talk to you soon.
Thanks, Keith.
I love it. Keith looking out for Coach Barbie. I like that. Well, thanks to Coach Barbie for taking the time with us. Coming up next, we'll hear from a big addition for the UK football team in 2021. Wan'Dale Robinson is glad to be back home. Boy, we're glad he's home too. Stay with us. BBN Game Day continues right after this.
Watch the UK Healthcare John Calipari Show every Monday evening, hosted by the voice of the Wildcats, Tom Leach. Fans can call in and submit questions on Facebook and Twitter. It airs 6 p.m. across UK Sports Network affiliates and streams live on the Kentucky Basketball Facebook page.
Wait up. Papa John's has a new stuffed crust. Oh, we did it. All our tweets, DMs, and carrier pigeons worked. This ain't just stuffed crust. This is Papa John's crust. Stuffed.
Just up the road in Erlanger, Kentucky's own playing card company produces 4 billion decks of cards a year. We know because we're Kentucky's insurance company, insuring all sorts of property damage involving your auto and home, but not your house of cards. Kentucky Farm Bureau Insurance. Big on commitment.
Papa John's is known for its crispy, fresh crust full of warm, fluffy pockets. And now they're known for stuffing those pockets with cheese. I love you, cheese. Get a new epic stuffed crust pizza with 1 topping for just $12. Papa John's.
You're watching BBN Game Day, presented by Kentucky Farm Bureau Insurance. Big on commitment.
Look at these on the brow. Bad, it's you. It's not even nobody bad, it's you. Come on, baby, you know that I'm bagging you. I had to get a Louis on bag or 2. There's no one that is bad as you. We got no baddicks on baddicks too. Made it straight to the top, got a hook. Keep on asking me, trying to find the truth. I said, baby, I'm better off lying than you. I said, baby, I'm better.
Yeah. Kind of looks like my morning workout right before I came in for the show.
Wrong.
Okay, no, I am a little tired watching that, but always good to see the football team getting back into the swing of things.
Man, I'm telling you, those are real workouts. What we're doing is not real. And they have some new faces in the weight room. That includes Wan'Dale Robinson, who's told us he's really excited to work with offensive coordinator Liam Cohen.
Being able to talk to him and sit down in the offices with him and kind of watch some film and just things that they want to do with us. It's just really exciting to know that I'll be in some space and get to do things that I like to do and run the routes I like to run. And so that was a really big thing whenever he was just talking to me and telling me kind of the things that I would do. And I just kind of got really excited about it.
Well, Keith, we keep hearing how much of an impact the chance to work with Liam Cohen is having on these guys' decision to either come here or even stay an extra year. I said that early on, that I really liked his energy, even in the press conference, saying hello to the people. I thought he brought such a great energy that he seems like he's very relatable for these guys.
Yeah, and all of them are so excited because they know he's been there to the NFL, and they know what it's, this offense can be electric. Wan'Dale's excited because he gets to be in the slot, and he's not going to be moved back to the backfield. Maybe he might, but I don't think as much as what Nebraska was doing with him. And so he's excited about, you heard him say, getting into space. He loves that. He's so twitchy and so fast. He's going to be a lot of fun to watch. Cannot wait for football.
This is where he should have been to begin with. So glad he's home. Yeah.
Hard to believe we're getting close to the end of basketball season, but the women's team only has 3 more games left on the schedule before the postseason begins. Ryan Howard told us the team is trying to not think too much about that yet.
And we are worried about that. We know that we have to step it up. but we are going one game at a time. Like, these last few games are big, and we know that it's going to come down to the end. We all always talk about it, and we know that we have to do better in order to get a good spot in tournament.
There are a few games coming up that could help with that. The women haven't played since Monday because their game with LSU was postponed and then canceled due to all this bad weather we're having. So if COVID wasn't enough, now you throw in the weather. So the women will take on South Carolina tomorrow. This is a game that's really important for seeding purposes. A win over the second-ranked Gamecocks could push Kentucky up to the 2 or even 3 seeds come selection day for the NCAA tournament. They played South Carolina tough the last time around, came up just short. Hopefully we don't see any of the rust after a 6-day layoff, but I will tell you, here's the issue. One of the bigger issues for Kentucky right now is that South Carolina just lost to Tennessee, and that's tough because that stopped a 31 SEC game winning streak for the Gamecocks. Here's what we know about Dawn Staley is she is the caliber of coach that these young women will learn from this, and they will come in on Sunday ready. So Kentucky has to absolutely have everything buttoned up and be ready to go here.
I mean, Kentucky played them close, but now you're talking about a team that's coming in a little upset and everything, and they're going to pay attention to what's going on and what the game plan is. And so you're right, Kentucky's going to have its best game, right?
Yeah, they're going to, and listen, they're going to break down film and really take a look at what went wrong. They had a big lead down in Knoxville going into the half. So really the second half, Tennessee played well, but South Carolina kind of had a little bit of a collapse that we don't normally see from them. So you can bet that a lot of those things will be corrected come Sunday.
We couldn't get through the show without talking about the volleyball team. Craig Skinner's squad is 3rd in the country and even received a first place vote in the last poll. They've won an incredible 27 straight sets. The 12-0 Wildcats were also set to play South Carolina this weekend, but those matches have been postponed due to COVID-19 issues within the South Carolina program. Christy, you look at their schedule, and other than Florida, doesn't look to be very many road bumps left on it. We could see maybe an undefeated team heading into the NCAA tournament.
I think it's remarkable. I think what they've been able to do, what Craig Skinner has done there is remarkable. So this team can absolutely keep this thing rolling. And you hate to stick with the cancellation theme, but here we are. The baseball team's opening series versus North Carolina scheduled for this week has also been canceled due to COVID-19. The Wildcats home opener at Kentucky Proud Park against Miami University currently remains as scheduled for Tuesday. We'll see. It's just a we'll see.
Tennis also had to move. I think it was only because of weather. It wasn't because of anything else.
Nuts.
All right, more BBN Game Day is coming up next.
Almost time for our Coke Play of the Week. Stay with us.
Today tastes like staying in, like our go-to place. Tastes like anticipating, and a little bit like waiting. Today tastes like a piece of the action, and it never tasted this good.
Love lower than low prices? Then get more ways to save at Kroger, where you can find personalized coupons, weekly deals, and rewards like fuel points. All for prices that are lower than low. On food that's fresher than fresh. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
If you're deciding between a Toyota or a Honda, you gotta run the numbers. This stylish Corolla beats Honda Civic with 169 horsepower and 40 miles per gallon. And with 4 exciting new Camrys, including a road-gripping all-wheel drive, which you can't even get on a Honda Accord. It's no wonder Camry is #1. Lease a new 21 Corolla now for just $129 a month, or for just $209 a month. Lease a new Camry all-wheel drive. Toyota beats Honda. Just run the numbers. Toyota, let's go places.
For this week's Coke Play of the Week, it's Davion Mintz with another late dagger after Vanderbilt cut the lead to 3 with under 2 minutes left to play. Mintz rose up and knocked down the three-point jumper to give the Cats a 74-68 lead. After that, it turned to mostly free throw shooting, and the Cats delivered, especially Jacob Toppin, to earn a second win in a row.
That was a no-doubter. When he pulled up to shoot that, I'm screaming at the TV, don't shoot it, but it was a no-doubter. He knew it.
He had a man in his face, but you're right. He felt it.
It was it was great. Great play. All right, well, that'll do it from here. Thanks for watching us on this edition of BBN Game Day.
We'll see you again next week, and until then, go Big Blue.
BBN Game Day. Presented by Kentucky Farm Bureau Insurance. Big on commitment. Sponsored by Central Bank, Coca-Cola, Kroger, Papa John's, and Toyota.